Good afternoon and welcome back. I'm Marcus Peter. I came across a piece on NBC News, and it was a reporting on something I'm going to tell you in a little bit, but I actually think it's a signal. It's one of those things where you put your finger on the pulse of where the culture is moving and you realize this means something deeper. The report on NBC News was about the rise of fully synthetic artificial intelligence performers. In other words, these are characters that have been made on AI platforms to take over the work of acting and making scenes. One such character is called Tilly Norwood. Now, let's go to the commentary proper, because whether you and I welcome it enthusiastically or not, or whether we resist it with a knee-jerk reaction, which I can understand, the movie industry is moving decisively toward artificial intelligence. Studios are responding to incentives. Artificial performers are actually offering astonishingly efficient advantages. They arrive on set with no fatigue, no ego, no scheduling conflict, no contract disputes, no salary negotiations, no drama, no diva attitudes. They execute the scenes repeatedly with pixel-perfect consistency until the director receives exactly what he envisions. You can adjust their facial expressions to the micro-expression, their vocal inflections, their physical gestures, and all it takes is a few lines of code. No need for repetitive rehearsal. And so production costs are massively declining, and the directorial control, is increasing dramatically. A recent report from NBC News on the rise of things like Tilly Norwood is showing that this is happening faster than we care to imagine. Digital characters are populating advertisements, streaming series, experimental films, and so software tools are generating convincing human likeness, within hours, mind you. It doesn't take too long. Generative systems are now writing scripts, composing soundtracks, design sets, editing footage, with minimal to no human supervision sometimes. And so the economic calculus is shifting quickly in the favor of artificial production pipelines. Now, some of you who are involved in the arts are probably scared by now, and rightly so, because insurance companies and studio executives are appreciating the predictability. Human actors bring talent, they bring charisma, but they also bring unpredictability. Every human person does that. Illness, scandal, contract renegotiation, personal conflict, complicated filming schedules. Artificial performers have no such variables. A digital character never ages, never violates a morality clause. In fact, you can augment their age. You can make them do whatever you want without worrying about moral concerns. Digital actors never demand residuals. So from a purely commercial perspective, the appeal is pretty obvious. The other problem is intellectual property rights become tremendously simple, because if the studio owns the code behind the character, it controls every different iteration of that scene or that movie or that character indefinitely. That character can then appear in sequels and spin-offs, in international adaptations, and even interactive experiences. And you never have to negotiate new contracts. In that environment, the traditional career path of aspiring actors is inevitably going to change. Casting calls may increasingly prioritize voice capture and motion data and not embodied presence. The art of acting is going to see a tremendous amount of upheaval. Training programs, actor training programs, may start emphasizing digital modeling and performance mapping. So not the mastery of stagecraft, which frankly used to be, or at least still is until this day, an art that requires real precision. And as one who can't act, I can tell you firsthand I have an appreciation for those who can. And that's why the entire avenue of acting is going to see that structural transformation, and it breaks my heart. Unions are now going to confront novel legal questions. Things like residual compensation, likeness ownership, consent protocols, all of those need to be dialogued. And young performers, rising actors, they're going to have to compete with synthetic counterparts who are capable of delivering flawless performances, diction, optimized emotional cues, things that human beings are simply incapable of even at their best. Studios are going to gradually favor digital avatars because that will maximize audience engagement metrics. But that rapid technological ascent is going to lose out on something human, the dimension of human performance. Artificial systems can simulate emotion through algorithmic pattern recognition. They can analyze thousands of filmed expressions. They can reproduce statistically plausible reactions, but simulation will always differ from lived experience. A human actor can draw from memory, from loss, from longing, from faith, from doubt, from joy, from real human connection. All of these are the result of embodied existence. Those interior realities will shape things like subtle pauses, tremors, glances that carry depth precisely because they originate in the person's personal history. I'll give you an example. One of my favorite movies is Remember the Titans. And there's a scene where Denzel Washington is giving them their first exhortation at football camp. And it's a little laughable as a scene, but if you pay attention to it, there are dramatic pauses. And those pauses are so perfectly attuned that they deliver the punch that you need. Sure, you can program AI to do it, but no one's ever going to be no digital program is ever going to be able to do it with the precision a human can. And that's why genuine presence involves risk. On a film set, actors respond to one another in real time. They respond to the audience in real time. Unexpected improvisations can sometimes create some of the best lasting memories. A line that's delivered with fresh intensity can alter the rhythm of an entire scene. The audience can sense that something unrepeatable is unfolding before them. But artificial performers, you have to code them for everything. There's no such thing as spontaneity, or spontaneity is programmed. It's calculated. That's why I think that the surprise is going to be live theater. I think that's going to reveal what artificial systems cannot replicate. Live performance depends upon shared space, shared breath, and shared experience with human beings together. When an actor stands before an audience, both parties influence each other. Or at least that's what I've read. I don't act. Laughter spreads organically, silence thickens palpably, applause will rise from genuine appreciation, and that reciprocal energy can't be downloaded. You can't code that. You can't stream that. It emerges from physical co-presence, human beings reacting with human beings. Leisure, in its classical sense, involves contemplative participation in beauty and truth. So attending a live play requires effort, travel, attention, patience, investment. The spectator enters a communal environment. Distractions are gone. You get to focus on the experience. The event is an experience. Digitally generated entertainment always encourages a kind of passive consumption. You can only watch it on the screen. Algorithms will adjust the content to maintain engagement, but they won't cultivate the experience the same way. I believe that artificial intelligence taking over the arts is going to result in us returning to pre-digital ways of entertainment that will result in human connection and depth. I believe that the theater and live music and classical performances live will be making a huge return as AI continues to boom. So yes, as cinematic theology advances, we're going to witness an unexpected revival of localized, embodied art forms, community theaters, small repertory companies, regional festivals. I think all of these could experience renewed interest because they're actually giving you human persons. Families are going to start seeking out experiences that are not automated, and young performers may discover that this might be their new avenue. Educational institutions might rediscover the formative value of local drama. Acting teaches people things like empathy, discipline, collaboration, courage. Students learn these things, and they embody them. And that's the philosophical dimension, that these creative limitations can generate real human innovation. Sure. Let artificial intelligence take over Hollywood. I think it's going to be to their detriment. Let artificial intelligence reshape the movie arts. In the meantime, let's reclaim live performances. I would love to attend more live classical music performances. I would love to have shared presence and genuine emotional risk as I watch Shakespeare portrayed before me. I believe, my friends, that under the stage lights, where digital technology cannot enter, real persons speak, breathe, and strive together, and we can have real human connection again. Stay tuned, I'm Marcus Peter.